Hello and welcome to the 21st episode of Comic Book Direct. I'm your host Ian.
And I'm your co-host Ethan.
And today we're talking about the movie event of the summer.
Now You See Me Too.
Exactly. Now You See Me Too, which should have been named Now You Don't. What a mistake.
Very mistake.
But that was the only mistake. Because this was the summer blockbuster of the year. Did I mention that?
You did.
It's also
featuring Morgan Freeman, Mark Ruffalo, Jesse Eisenberg. Interrupt me, I'm running out of names.
There's Daniel. There's the little guy, James something.
Oh, there's like some Franco.
No, he's not in. Is he?
He is.
He is.
Not the famous Franco.
Right, the other Franco.
Less famous Franco.
All right. So now that you've been updated on all the news about Now You See Me Too, we're going to go ahead and go into the second summer blockbuster of the year, and that would be
Thanos, The Inside Story.
Exactly. How did you know? You read my mind. It's Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse.
Dave Franco.
Dave Franco?
Dave Franco. And
Are
Daniel Radcliffe.
They're brothers, right?
I'm not sure. He looks familiar.
Imagine they're
similar.
brothers. Alright, so now that we've got you all caught up on that Franco news, we're gonna go right into X-Men Apocalypse. And we just saw it yesterday. We were a little late to the party, but we're gonna that gives us a chance to give you a spoiler review.
Yes. We were going to do that
totally anyways, but this gives me a good excuse.
Now we're not huge jerks.
All right, so let's go. Do you want to start with pros or cons first?
Let's start with cons and get them out of the way so we can go on to the pros.
All right, so keep in mind there are spoilers.
There will be many spoilers.
Batman died.
Batman did die.
So did Dave Franco.
Right
at the feet of Thanos. It was really weird. It was a very convoluted movie. So what was your main complaint about this movie?
Just continuity errors.
Well,
Quicksilver breaks his leg. They insta-rebuild the school, and suddenly his legs insta-rebuilt too.
No, he was on crutches at the end, wasn't he?
In the final scene, they line up all the X-Men. His leg's completely fine.
Interesting. Well, yeah, there were a lot of not only continuity errors, but plot errors, just general holes in the plot that I think, and this will lead to my big complaint about it, which was the pacing, right? So there was a very slow pace for a lot of the movie, and the scenes were great. I loved the movie, don't get me wrong, but it was very slow sort of build up. I felt some of the build up was necessary, some was less necessary. There was a lot of filler, like, Wolverine. I didn't think that had to be in the movie.
Right.
I think there should have been a Wolverine cameo, but that was a little bit much. Those enemies didn't really have any impact on me or the situation whatsoever. They were just there for filler, right? And when a movie's being slow like that, you kind of tend to pick apart the plot holes just a little bit more.
Right. It's already a long movie,
right?
And now slow-paced just ruins it.
Then you tend to start talking with your friends a little bit. You tend to start
joking around,
pointing out the holes in the plot, and I felt that was not as necessary. What was your least favorite X-Men?
Of the ones featured, I'm just basing off the plane, who was inside of the plane.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say that the least favorite one, man, that's tough. They were pretty good. But I'm going to have to go.
Great choice.
Maybe
Franco.
Dave Franco.
Worst
but
reason.
I'm thinking maybe Scott Summers.
Scott Summers, really?
I mean, he has this aura about him, like, hey, I'm supposed to be a main character, but he doesn't.
Yeah. everyone
take control.
everyone does kind of hate Scott Summers, so at least that's comic accurate. Um, yeah, I agree. Scott Summers was kind of bland overall. I did like the actor. I thought he did well at portraying Scott, but I just don't like the character of Scott in general.
Yeah.
But one of my big problems was the depictions of the Four Horsemen. Like Angel was all right. I felt Magneto. I love Magneto.
Yeah, we'll have more to talk about him later.
in the good section. But Storm and Psylocke, I was kind of disappointed in them because at least Storm has the moral
Compass.
the moral directive to kind of realize this is a really bad idea and what am I doing? I feel like they wouldn't have gotten to that point unless they were under Apocalypse's control, and if they were, then why didn't he put Magneto more under his control, right?
See, I have a lot to say about that actually.
Sure.
But you'll notice every single character was touched by Magneto and visually, physically changed.
Right.
Or touched by Apocalypse, not Magneto. What am I talking about?
Nailed it.
Except for Magneto.
Touched by Dave Franco and Thanos.
Magneto, the only time he was really touched is when Apocalypse pushed his hand to the ground. But you didn't see Apocalypse's eyes go all weird like he's using powers. Magneto was shown to already be powerful. He didn't need a boost of power. And so that was very important.
Right, but there's still a problem there. Like, if you've got this guy who's so powerful already, just naturally, why wouldn't you put him under direct control?
Because he watched the TV reports, and all that's on TV was about how bad this guy is, how much he wants to destroy the world. He didn't see, oh, he's crying about his dead family. He sees, hey, he left his family dead. It looked like to the outside world he killed them. He's ruthless.
That's a decent explanation, sure, but those type of ruthless guys are not likely to go under the power of a different ruthless guy. So I feel like the fact that Apocalypse expected him to just submit was kind of a dumb idea.
For the most part, he did submit, so.
Yeah, sort of. And another thing. Why did Apocalypse go for Professor X instead of Jean Grey?
Yeah.
Like, he has access, or had access, to a giant amount of mutants, all the mutants in the world, and that's being literal. He had access to Cerebro, right? And he didn't see that Jean Grey would be more of an advantage. He didn't see that, hey, I could get so many more powerful. Like, I know Professor X is powerful, but Jean Grey outranks him by far. Especially, now some make the argument that, oh, she's young, you wouldn't want that because she doesn't really have her powers under control. But if Apocalypse has this ability to bring people to a higher place, or mutants to a higher place, right? In terms of power, why doesn't he get those? And why doesn't he replace a good half of his horsemen? Like, Angel, really? Angel's
never.
I like his character, but he's pretty much useless.
He is useless. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. And I was gonna play kind of devil's advocate. You know, she's young. He's seen an example of Professor X.
Right.
But really, no. He should have got her. And like you said, he could control her and teach her.
Exactly. All right, so let's move on to the pros, because there's a lot of them.
There are a lot of pros.
So, first off, the special effects in this movie, for the most part, like, there were some sketchy areas, but for the most part, they were amazing. I loved the Egyptian sort of exposition scene. I thought that was very well put together and really left me with a sense of awe.
Another thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Anyways, just gonna get the elephant in the room out, because clearly the best scene from the movie was Quicksilver's Sweet Dreams.
That was amazing. That was a weirdly perfect song to use.
Right.
And of course Quicksilver.
And I mean, everyone's heard that song. Even if you haven't heard that song, you've heard
that
song.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like I was talking to my friends about that, and I'm like, have you heard this song? And they're like, yeah, I remember it. I don't know where from or why.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone knows that
I was
song.
like, oh yeah, I know that. Wait a second. I don't think I've ever heard this song, but I know it. It's like Dave Franco, he spoke it right into our ears when we were asleep.
I definitely feel like I've heard that song before. Right. I don't know where, I don't know why, but I've heard that song.
Speaking of expositions, because I was speaking of expositions at one point, Magneto. I think the change was so great because, in the comics, they burned his house down while he wasn't really there and got his daughter and wife. I think having Magneto with them in the movie was so much more powerful than any other method could have been in the movie. I thought that was a great change. Now, it presented a lot of weird plot holes that
it did.
That I don't really want to go into all that much. But
another thing about Magneto's daughter. She's a nerd.
What?
I'm sorry. I know it's supposed to look cool, cute, maybe kind of funny, light humor, but she's talking to a deer.
Okay.
She has no friends.
Hey, I've talked to deer several times. What are you trying to say here?
You're also part of an
Okay, moving on. Quick. Abort. All right, so who was your favorite mutant?
Out of all of them?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with Magneto.
All right,
that's a good choice. He was very strong. How about
the new ones?
The new ones.
Yes.
The new ones.
Yes.
I have not watched the other movies, so I don't know which ones
were exactly new. The new ones are pretty
new.
much all of the Four Horsemen, and then...
So Magneto?
Dang it. Not Magneto. All of the Three Horsemen, including Magneto.
Okay.
Gotcha again.
Okay.
No, but there was also the basic mutants like Scott and Jean Grey and all of those.
Quicksilver.
He's not new. He was in the last one. It was great.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailers for that.
All right, try again. Guess again, kiddo.
Bonus round.
All right.
I'm gonna go with.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Incorrect. Dave Franco was the correct answer that we were looking for. I don't know. I liked Storm as a character before she went to Apocalypse's side. I think she did really well. But you know who the real standout star was?
Who?
Jubilee. She was just great.
She was that one
all
Asian
one line.
girl with the pigtails.
with the yellow raincoat type thing. Yeah. Speaking of costumes, that was one of the greatest moments in the movie for me, was just the very end, seeing those costumes in action, where you've got a pretty accurate Cyclops, pretty accurate, like they were just wearing flight suits for most of the movie.
But those flight suits, those form-fitting flight suits, just enough for all of them, and just the right size.
Of course. Well, one size fits all, I guess. Hey.
Not when they're form-fitting.
Yeah, that's...
I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
They fit.
Got you there.
They fit pretty well.
Got you there. They're form-fitting. Maybe they're... Alright, so how did you like the villain? Apocalypse.
I thought he was good. I did indeed like him. But, as one of my friends remarked that I went to see the movies with, no matter what they do to him, no matter how they change his looks, he looks silly.
Well, yeah, but also
He looks like a clown.
if he's gonna have to look silly, why not go with the original silly?
Right.
You feel? Um, but yeah, I enjoyed him. I was kind of disappointed with Psylocke. I thought she would talk more. She was kind of a Jubilee-ish character.
Yeah, she didn't really seem to have too much impact. And even at the end, when everyone's getting defeated, Angel's dead, Storm switches sides, Magneto switches sides, she's just kind of like, who
I'm
cares
here.
about her?
I do like Olivia Munn though, so I hope she appears in other movies. Alright, so we could go on and on for many hours, many days, many years, but we can't.
One last
Are you
thing.
disappointed? Sure, one last thing.
You know what was pretty good as far as origin stories go?
Let me know.
Professor X's bald head.
That was great. That was
That
my
was the
favorite
deepest
origin story ever. Oh yeah, he was sort of in the middle of getting transferred from one body to the other, and then he kind of just burned his hair off in preparation. This was also about the time when he became a Smurf, turned blue, you know, the usual.
Right. Of course, he got better from being blue, but his hair never recovered.
Never recovered at
Never.
all. What about those legs, though? Still not working, right?
I don't think so.
Rest in peace. All right, let's move on to our reads of the week. What do you have for me?
I read Rebirth, mostly Flash, mostly the Flash, because I was looking forward to the Flash.
All right.
It took me a while at the beginning to realize, oh, this is starting before what we saw in DC Rebirth, issue 1. So that kind of took me a second, but once I got it, I understood it. I liked the story, and I'm excited.
Can I put my quick theory out there real quick?
No.
So, even before Rebirth, I had been kind of thinking of this. Or even before the Flash issue actually came out, I had been thinking about this. So, the writer of Rebirth Flash is drawing heavily on, you guessed it, the miniseries that Flash had called Flash Rebirth. Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed? But in that, I think it's Professor Zoom. I always get confused with those top speedster. Maybe Reverse Flash. One of them mentioned that either Irie West, which is Impulse. Yeah, Wally's daughter. And then the original Wally's daughter. And then there's Jay West, okay? He said that one of the two would destroy him, right? And I feel like they're really setting up Jay West to be a villain. Because he lost his powers, right? Because Irie took him from him. And it's sort of a goodwill thing because he was going through a lot of pain. But Irie took it from him, right? And we've seen her in future versions as a hero, right? In like Kingdom Come, things like that. But we haven't seen Jay West. So I'm guessing that he may just be the new villain. Because, as we know, the new event in The Flash is going to be sort of a Spider Island type event where everybody gets Flash powers. So I'm thinking that Jay West might get his powers back and, go rogue a little bit.
The new villain being
Godspeed.
That's what I was thinking.
Godspeed would, in my theory, be Jay West. Because it wouldn't have a very big effect if... Like, they've been setting up Godspeed for a while now. So it wouldn't have a very big effect if we just left it there, right?
And that brings the question. At the end of the issue, we see a yellow speedster blur. That could be any number of things, right?
Right.
Yellow could be Kid Flash, though I would doubt it. could be
Well, that's Wally West, so
right.
probably not.
Right. I was saying I would doubt it.
Right.
It could be Reverse Flash,
Mm-hmm.
or could it also be Godspeed?
Well, I'm hoping that, like, his suit is mostly white. It should at least have large streaks of white in it, like in the streak, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll
think
have
it
to
is?
see. And I couldn't speculate without going back and seeing the picture one more time. So let's move on from there to my reads of the week. I read a lot this week. I went over to the local library, got some hard copies. Yeah, totally. I'm a nerd, bro. But one of the reads I wanted to mention this week was, first of all, Wonder Woman, which had a great start. It was very interesting seeing her deal with her past. Like, have you read the new Percy Jackson series that's like the Gods of Olympus?
I believe I read the first couple of books.
So in those books,
I'm showing him the picture at the end of the comic. You know,
yeah,
it also looks like,
that does look like Reverse Flash, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of red in it too.
All right. So, anyways, back...
I am questioning though. No, wait, never mind. This is the new house. It's not in the past.
All right. So back to my read of the week. The books depicted sort of these gods who were conflicted between their Greek and Roman sides, right?
Right.
And so they had a lot of memory issues. That's kind of what's going on with Wonder Woman, except with, like, pre-52 and new 52 versions, right? She's kind of balancing between them, right? Yeah, and I think that'll be an interesting story to reimagine. All right, so we don't have a ton of time, so I'm going to move it right along, all right?
All right.
Good with that? So let's go to the question of the week. And remember, you can send in your question of the week at either comicbookdirect@gmail.com, which is comicbookdirect@gmail.com.
Impressive.
Thank you. Or comicbookdirect.weebly.com, spelled the exact same way except with 4 Y's, and I'm not going to tell you where. All right. So also on that website, just to let you know, you can find our episodes, all of our episodes, compiled so that you can listen to it in the background of your iPhone or computer or what have you.
Roku player,
yeah. I don't think you can listen to it in that.
I don't know.
I don't know what a Roku player
Never
is.
even seen one.
All right. Question of the week. We're going to give them a fake name so that we can keep them fake.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fake, like...
Yeah, that's my good pitch. All right. What's the name?
Jaden Smith.
Jaden Franco writes. Franco Smith.
Franco.
Writes.
He writes, why do circle pizzas come in square boxes?
That's true. That's exactly
he
what
also
he
wrote, if I hit myself in the face and it hurts, am I strong or am I weak?
Wow.
Another question he
wrote.
Okay,
let's move on to the third question that he wrote, which is, if you could be any comic book character, who would it be and why? That was kind of a more bland question for Jaden Smith's standards,
right.
But, you know, I think it's a great question.
It fits the
So we've
the
kind
podcast.
We've kind of done this before, like, whose powers would you want to have or something, but or who's your favorite character? But if you could be, I swear if you bring that up. All right, if you could be one character, who would it be?
Originally, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about some of Taskmaster's powers, and I was like, that would be cool, but eventually Taskmaster's gotta die, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna die eventually.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I was thinking, who can take a bullet and, like, keep charging?
Deadpool.
I was thinking Rhino.
What?
Rhino. I was thinking Rhino, but I'm like, no, old age is gonna get him.
Okay.
And then I was thinking, who's who's pretty old, still young. Wolverine.
Wolverine. Really?
His healing power, his age, and still being not aged.
And he got them ladies, right?
He does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, just for the sole purpose of longevity,
Okay.
I'm going to take
All right.
Wolverine.
I feel it.
Also, comes with some sick powers.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking about Batman because he's rich. And he can beat anyone with prep time. Don't quote me on that because it's not true. Or even remotely accurate in any way.
I believe that Batman can beat Galactus if he
Can
had
beat,
some prep time.
He can beat Superman if you just give him, like, a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 3 hours.
He can just get kryptonite, dude. Like, that's all he needs. He needs a kryptonite sword, and he'll have it. Like, you can just knife him, right?
Right.
Right, dude?
Yeah.
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 My name's Dave Franco. What's yours?
Same. Same thing.
We're both the same. All right. But then I decided, hey, why don't I have a little bit more fun with it? And I was thinking maybe I'll be like a fifth dimension imp.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Who?
Any of them, really. They have a really good amount of power, a ton of reality warping type stuff, and they just seem to always be in a good mood. Or at least the ones we know.
Which ones do we know? Just for those people out there who
I'm gonna
aren't up to date with fifth dimension imps.
I was trying to avoid saying his name because it's a really hard name to say.
Good.
Mr. Mixes-Pitzulk.
That wasn't so hard.
That was pretty tough. Yeah. Or, Batmite, who's also
All right,
a little bit easier to say.
That one was tough.
that one was more difficult than
So, where are these from?
Fifth Dimension.
I mean, like, comic-wise.
They're pretty much DC.
DC.
Yeah, they're pretty much imps, genie sort of thing. They're very exciting. They're very fun. They've got their own sort of set of physics. No, Batmite obviously was part of Batman, and then Mrs. was usually Superman.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he's interesting.
Sort of like a Watcher type?
Except crazier. So that's about all we have time for.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to see you go.
Thank you.
No problem, dude.
All right.
Given time, I could beat Superman.
Given time.
Given time, yeah.
Preparation time.
Yeah, he has a plan though.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could beat the Flash. Given time.
Definitely. He could run faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just super speed, man.
Give him like a day to train.
Give him like a day or something, and then you can just knock him right out.
You ever seen
I
Ostritches?
swear I've done it before twice. Yeah, I saw Ostritches. Why? Why the heck are you asking me?
Just kind of fit the accent.
Yeah, Dave Franco and his Ostriches.
That's not a Dave Franco accent. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great week.
Or listening. If you were listening. Yeah.
Why would they be watching?
I don't know.
Have fun watching.
Thank you guys
blank
for watching
title card.
inside of our house.
A blank title card.
Alright, we'll see you next week.
Or will we?